guys, today I'm actually going to be showing you how to deploy Linux Ubuntu Server 20.04 on VMware ESXi 6.0. So if you'd like to deploy an open source server operating system as a virtual machine in a data center, this is one of the ways that you can, of the many ways that you can do it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to download the Linux Ubuntu Server disk image file from the official website. So I'm going to search for Linux Ubuntu Server here, and on the first search result, click on Get Ubuntu Server. Okay, so on the Linux Ubuntu Server download page, click on the manual server installation option, and then click on download Ubuntu Server 20.04. Okay, so you should get a dialog. It actually depends on the browser that you're using, but if you're using Google Chrome, it will actually automatically start the download process. So I've actually already downloaded Ubuntu Server, so I'm not going to wait for it to download. So I'm actually going to log into my ESXi server now, and then I'm going to show you how to upload the Ubuntu disk image file to the Ubuntu server, to the ESXi server. Sorry. So I'm going to click on Open VMware Host Client, and then on the login page, I'm just going to input my Ubuntu root username and password, and then I'm going to click on login. Okay, so once logged in, all you just have to do is to click on storage, click on the data stores browser tab, click on data store browser, and then choose a folder, or you can create a folder, then click on upload. So once you've clicked on upload, you simply go to your downloads folder and you select the Linux Ubuntu disk image file, ISO file, once you've actually downloaded it, and then you click on open. So we then actually start the file upload process, where it's actually now uploading the ISO image file to the server. So once this process is complete, I'm then going to show you how to then create the virtual machine in ESXi 6.0. Actually, before I show you the virtual machine creation process, I actually just wanted to first show you how to verify the checksum of the Ubuntu disk image file. This is very important if you intend to deploy this virtual machine in a production environment, or if you're going to download the ISO image file now and then travel somewhere to someplace else which is far away, and then when you get to that place, then you try to complete this installation. You don't want to be having a corrupt ISO image file on your hands. So verifying the checksum is what can actually save you from such hassles, because it helps you to know for sure if the ISO image file is complete and not corrupt. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Linux Ubuntu download page, where we can actually get the checksum of the download file. Okay, so if you click on download once more, I'm actually going to cancel the download because we've already done that. Okay, so let me cancel it now. Okay, if on the download page there's an option called there's actually a link that says verify your download. So if you click on verify your download, you'll see there's this long string of letters and numbers. This is actually the checksum of the Ubuntu ISO image file. So to verify this checksum, open up your terminal application. If you're using a Mac, this process is slightly different if you're using a Windows or a Linux-based PC. but if for the purposes of learning, I'm just going to show you how to do it on a Mac. So change your working directory to the downloads folder, or to whatever folder where you've got the Ubuntu ISO image file saved, and then run the command checksum -a256, and then enter in the name of the ISO image file. Actually, let me just check the name here by running a quick ls command. Okay, so mine is Ubuntu-20. So let me actually try to execute the command once more. Let me just clear my screen. So it's checksum -a256, and then Ubuntu-20, and then I'm going to press tab to autocomplete the file name for the ISO image file. And then once you've entered that, press enter. So this command will actually check the ISO image file, and then it will actually extract the checksum that is on the ISO image file. So it takes a minute to complete because it's a processor and memory intensive procedure. So we're just going to wait for it to complete the extraction process, and then once it's done, we're then going to compare the checksum that we get from this command against the checksum that is listed on the Ubuntu downloads page. So how we'll know that the ISO image file is correct is that the checksums need to match. Okay, so the command is return this result. So I'm going to copy this checksum that it's returned. I'm going to copy that from my terminal, and then I'm going to go to a website called diff checker. It's actually called difference checker or diff checker. I hope that's correct. Okay, yeah, so it's called diff checker, and then on diff checker I'm going to paste in the checksum that was returned by my terminal on the changed text side. Then on the original text side, I'm actually going to copy the checksum from the Ubuntu downloads page and then paste it there. Okay, and then on the diff checker website, just click on find difference. So the desired result to get is you should see a message saying the two files are identical. So if you get this message, then it means that the ISO image file that we've downloaded is true and correct. So in the next step, I'm then now going to show you how to then create the virtual machine in ESXi 6.0. Okay, so to create the virtual machine, click on the virtual machines tab, and then click on the create/register VM option. Select the create a new virtual machine option, and then click on next. And then on the selected name and guest OS section, we're going to name the virtual machine Ubuntu 20.04 server as the VM name. I'm just going to put in VM at the end. Okay, I'm going to change my compatibility option to ESXi 5.5, and then set the guest OS family to Linux, and then the guest OS version to Ubuntu. We should have an option for Ubuntu here. Okay, yeah, Ubuntu Linux 64-bit. So that's the option that you're supposed to select. You can actually change your compatibility to ESXi 6.0 if you want, but 5.5 works fine. And then once you're done with these selections, click on next. So then the next thing is to select a data store. The data store is where the virtual machine files will actually be saved. So on my ESXi server, I actually have just one data store, and it's the one that's already selected. So what I have to just do is to click on next, And then on the customize settings button, this is where we can then set other things like CPU, memory, and the hard disk size. So on the CPU section, I'm going to allocate 3 CPUs to the Ubuntu server. And then on the memory section, I'm actually going to allocate 2 gigs of RAM. Well, actually, let me change this to GB, and then let me actually allocate 4 gigs of RAM to this virtual machine. Then on the hard disk section, if you expand hard disk, on the maximum size section, you can actually see the maximum size that you can actually set for the virtual hard disk. Usually this is indicative of the amount of storage space that you actually have left on your ESXi server. So I'm just going to set it to 100 gigs, and then I'm going to also need to make sure that it's actually set to thin provisioned to quicken the virtual machine creation process. So once you've made these selections, you need to choose your network adapter. I just have one which I've named VM network. And then on the CD/DVD drive 1 section, this is where we actually attach the Ubuntu disk image file. So click on the drop down menu and then click on data store ISO file. And then all you have to do is to browse to the folder where you've uploaded the Ubuntu ISO image file, select, and then just select it. So once you've actually made these selections, we should be good to go. Let me just check if there's anything else that I would want to choose to set. Actually if you click on the VM options tab, there's options that you can choose. You can actually choose the firmware. You can actually choose between BIOS and EFI. You can actually set a boot delay. That's if you then want to make any changes to the virtual machine's BIOS. But I'm just going to leave the default options as they are, and then click on next. So once you click on next, a summary of what you've configured will be displayed, showing you the amount of CPUs that you've allocated to this virtual machine, the memory, the number of network adapters, and a whole lot of other information. So if you are happy with what you see here, you can just click on finish, or if you want to make any changes, you can just go back to previous sections. So once you're done, click on finish. So you'll actually see a message saying the virtual machine Ubuntu 20.04 server was successfully created. And then in the next step, we're then going to go through the Ubuntu server installation process. Okay, so to proceed, right click on the newly created virtual machine and then click on power. Right click on power and click on power on. So this will start the virtual machine, and then right click on the virtual machine again, then click on console, launch remote console. So we're actually going to interact with the virtual machine using the VMware remote console. So click on the open VMware remote console option, and then it's actually then going to connect through to the virtual machine's display. Okay, so we've connected to the VM, and it's actually booting up now using the Ubuntu ISO image file. Okay, so once it's booted up, select English, and then click on the continue without updating option just for now, and then click select the done option. So usually just pressing enter in this section, just on done, you just select the, using your keyboard arrow keys, you just select done, and then you press enter. And then on the proxy address section, if your network uses a proxy server, you need to input your proxy server address there. But if you just have a regular network without a proxy server, just press enter on the done option. Then on the mirror address section, just press enter on done. And then here it's now asking us to either allow the Ubuntu installer to configure the disk for us, or if we'd like to choose a custom storage layout. So just leave the default options as they are. Just press tab and then press enter on the done option. Press enter again, and then use your keyboard arrows to choose the continue option, then press continue. So here we need to then set a name. So I'm going to input the name administrator. Then the server's name, I'm just going to call it Ubuntu 20. Sorry about that. Let me actually go back to the Ubuntu 20. Okay, let me just name it Ubuntu _server. Okay, for simplicity's sake. And then the username, I'm going to set it to administrator again. And then I'm going to type in a password for this account that we are actually creating. Okay, and I'm going to repeat my password one more time. Okay, and then once that's done, then press tab and then press enter. In this case, if you then intend to connect to this Ubuntu server using a terminal emulation software such as PuTTY, you'll need for Ubuntu you'll need the OpenSSH server. So press tab to select the install OpenSSH server. Press tab again, and once you've highlighted done, press enter. Press tab and then press done. Okay, so the installation process is now running, and basically all you just have to do is just to wait for this process to complete, and then once it's done, I'm then going to then show you in the last step how to install system and package updates on Ubuntu 20.04 server. So it's the last step, which will then mark the end of this video tutorial. So, but for now, just wait for the installation process to complete, which should just take not more than 10 minutes. Then once it's done, I'm then going to show you how to then install system and package updates for Ubuntu. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to log in using the administrator account that we created during installation. So I'm just going to type in administrator, and then I'm going to type in the password that I set during installation as well. Then once logged in, I'm actually going to change to the root user account by running the command sudo su. So let me just type in my admin password, and then if you then check the prompt, it was saying administrator at Ubuntu. Now it says root at Ubuntu server. Okay, so once that's done, I'm then going to then install the package and system updates now by running the command apt-get. Actually, let me just make the correction: apt-get update ampersand apt-get upgrade. So if you run this age-old command, it will then start checking for Ubuntu package system and package updates, and then once it's done, it should actually notify you to say, hey, these are the updates that I found, would you like to install them or not? So what you have to do here is to type in Y and press enter. So this will then tell Ubuntu that you're interested in installing these updates, and it will then proceed to actually download them and install them. So this process is a fairly fast process. It actually depends on the quality of your internet connection. If you've got a good connection, it should not take you more than 5 minutes for you to do this. And I highly recommend that you do this process soon after you install Ubuntu, so that you don't face challenges when you are then installing whatever application it is you'd like to run or probably if you intend to use this virtual machine as a web server, or whatever your use case is, the most important thing to do is to download and install system and package updates soon after Ubuntu installation. So basically this marks the end of this tutorial. Once the package update installation process is complete, please restart the virtual machine. But other than that, I think my work is done here. So I would like to thank you so very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Please share this video with as many colleagues as you can, and yeah, just subscribe to the channel for even more great and amazing content in the near future. Thanks guys, bye.